Team, what is the word? What goes on? Jay Porks here. We are back with a brand new episode of Dyze in your house. And I'm just here to remind you, I know I didn't wait a whole week to post the new one. This is not a normal week. Yesterday was not normal. Today is not normal. None of this is normal. And people need to stop, posting on social media like it's normal, because it's not. Of course, we know the views and opinions expressed on this podcast are that of my own and do not represent that of my employer. Just want to get that out of the way. There's no reason I say that because nothing has to do with my job. So the National Guard, or the martial law, was enacted in Washington, D.C. And the reason it was enacted in Washington, D.C. is because Washington, D.C. is not a state. Therefore, the federal government, i.e. the Nazis in charge, can pretty much do whatever they want. And by whatever they want, I mean, call in the National Guard because somebody that works for Dodge got beat up or something like that. But it's a distraction from the Epstein file. Here's the thing. People don't understand that Donald Trump was inside 13-year-old girls on a regular basis. On a regular basis. This guy was inside of 13-year-old girls. It's disgusting. So you say to yourself, oh, this martial law is a distraction from the Epstein files. It is. But it's also trying to distract you from... Remember there was a chick that wouldn't bake a cake for a gay couple's wedding? It was 5 years ago. 7 years ago by this point. So, she wouldn't bake a cake for a gay wedding because it's against her religious views or something. Kim Davis is her name. And, well, she might not have been the baker. She might have been the county clerk. But either way, or she might have gotten elected to county clerk after being the baker. Either way. Today, so the Supreme Court ruled she didn't have to bake them the cake. Whatever. Also on Monday, they officially went to the Supreme Court to ask to overturn gay marriage. So, if you're gay married, if you're plan on getting gay married, you should probably do that now. I can help. I am a reverend, ordained minister. I was looking for the term. What's the fucking term? I'm ordained. I am ordained by the Universal Life Church, as is probably half the country. I'm able to do weddings, so hit me up. But in all seriousness, this is something that was part of Project 2025. Overturning gay marriage, overturning interracial marriage, not, taking away women's rights to vote, and not letting women get credit cards unless their husbands, sign off on it. That's the type of shit we're in right now. And it's real, and it's really happening. And to see a post on social media about anything that's not martial law, trying to end gay marriage, and just crumbling democracy, if it's not any one of those, then what are you posting for? The Yankees just won. Do you think I'm going to get on this podcast and talk about, the Yankees? I'm happy they won. But that's not important right now in terms of, democracy. That's important in terms of sports. And the thing I always say about sports is not real life. I don't want to see one fucking post about what are Democrats doing about all this. The Democrats stood up for the entirety of Biden's campaign, and especially in those last 100 days where Kamala Harris took the reins and you know, that's when we got introduced to Project 2025. I got introduced to it from the news, not the news on TV. My favorite content creators, Under the Desk News, Sari Beth Rosenberg, Little Miss Marxist, Eliza Orleans. I kind of like Keith Edwards, Molly Jung Fast, Katie Fang, like Matt Au. All the people were telling us about Project 2025. They printed it out. They shared it. They read it aloud at the DNC. They told you everything that was going to happen if you played around and didn't vote. And I know that there's, leftists out there. People are calling them blue MAGA. They're like people that don't like so if this is Republican and this is Democrat, like they're all the way over here allegedly, and so far so that they don't vote for Democrats or whatever unless they're like, pass every line of their purity test. And here's what I'm going to say about that. I've got a new line in the sand. Besides like me calling, if I see you with a red hat, you're dead. You're dead in my brain. Like, I don't pay attention to you. You don't exist in my life. You know what I'm saying? You don't exist. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here in the Democrat big tent party and try to faction it off. I'm not going to do that. And the term blue MAGA helps Republicans, not Democrats, because it equates the two. It makes them seem like, oh, well, the far left is just as bad as the far right. No. Not voting because you're a dickhead is not the same as, hey, I choose to vote for Nazis because I'm a racist. Like that, they're still not the same. Even though they got us to the same place, they're not the same thing. And I look at it like this. You either vote for Democrats or you don't. Like, there's no party. Do you vote for Democrats or do you not? If you don't, or if you stutter on that question, I'm out of the conversation. I got no interest in talking to you. Like, are you kidding me? And I work in Manhattan. I work in downtown Manhattan. So it's summertime. There's tourists out. You know what I'm saying? And I would say that this year compared to last year, the big difference in the tourists is that the tourists that are in town in New York right now, this time, like this year, are people that come from countries that already have some sort of dictatorship. Whereas last year we were having everybody. Everybody was in the city. You heard all different languages, all different people. I had conversations with people from all over the world. Now, every time you talk to somebody, they're from some country with fascism. Like, oh my God. It's not funny. It's not funny. And personally speaking, they haven't gotten to me yet. But they will get to me. Well, they have gotten to me. My 401k was a lot thicker before this asshole took office. My 401k went on a diet that I only wish I could go on. But I thought he's the economy guy. Remember when he had the National Guard in California? It lasted 2 weeks. Guy's a pussy. But now he's got the National Guard in D.C. to distract you from two things and probably more. I got one more for you that he's distracting you from. It's probably not he probably doesn't care about this. So, you guys know, like, the DOJ was hacked, right? And you know they were hacked by Russia, right? And you know that Russia, if they didn't already, they have now locked in that Russia, Vladimir Putin, has the Epstein files. He has access to them. He's got copies. And here's all I'll say. I will trade our government not sending a drone to kill that terrorist. I will trade our government not ending Putin if Putin ends Agent Orange. But the reality is, Alaska is probably not going to be a part of America anymore. I know. Oh, now he's talking really crazy. No, he's literally going to give that to Putin. He's going to give Alaska to Putin. He's going to say, well, we'll have Canada. Canada's going to say, fuck you, eh? Then we're going to have 49 states. Which, I don't know how that affects the Electoral College. Do Dems win Alaska? No, right? Lisa Murkowski, she's an independent. Alaska's weird. But this motherfucker's giving Putin Alaska. That's what's happening. 3 things. Epstein, overturning gay marriage, Putin having the Epstein files. Like, these 3 things happen. It's Tuesday. It's fucking, I'm recording this at 10:22 p.m. on Tuesday night. It's Tuesday night. And all of this has happened already. Now, I'm not, oh, Jay, the tanks are still in Washington, D.C. I'm not here to get crazy. But this is not good. This is not normal. And if you're not against this, and here's the thing, you don't have more money. Because nobody watching this is a billionaire. Therefore, you did not benefit. In the short term, in the long term, you did not benefit. If you're somebody that says, oh, well, I'm actually, what is happening, what the federal government is doing is actually helping me make more money, you are telling lies. Or you run an internment camp that has federal grants from the government. Then in that case, yeah. It's not normal. You don't tweet, don't post the engagement bait. Don't post a selfie that says might delete later. Don't do that. You're not on vacation. You're on vacation? Who's on vacation? People are going on vacation. We got fascism. We got fascism in our country. And people are going about the day like everything is fine. I got news for you. It's not fine, and it's not going to be fine unless us as Americans and Democrats can thread a very difficult needle. There is a very difficult needle to thread. It's a very narrow path, but thy can be done. So first and foremost, Gavin Newsom has been on fire recently. And in the past couple of days, the office of the governor of California, they've been tweeting, and I'm sure all over every social media platform, they've been posting fucking posts in all caps that say, I wrote you a letter, talking to Trump. I wrote you a letter, you will respond within a day or else. It was totally stuff that, shit that Trump does, posting in all caps and it was okay, we got an answer to this. Gavin Newsom is really angling himself, and if we have an election that is free and fair, I believe Gavin Newsom is there. I believe he is the nominee. But here's the thing about words, right? What you say what you say. What you say, however you saying it. Just remember what you was saying when you was saying it. So who you playing with, huh? That's Eminem quote. But in all actuality, Gavin Newsom can say, hey, I'm redrawing California's maps. And that's it. He said it will be 50 to nothing congressional seats. He said that Republicans will have no congressional seats. Here's something I can see happening. I can see Texas redistricting, and totally gerrymandering Democrats out of the state house and Congress in Texas. I could see that happening. I could see voters will sue and the circuit court will agree with Texas. They'll be like, no, Texas is fine. Then California is going to do it. Republicans are going to sue. And the circuit court there will either uphold it or kick it back to a lower court. But Texas and California redistricting, gerrymandering, will make it to the Supreme Court. Texas, California, their gerrymandering efforts, their redrawing of the maps, they will go to Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court will say, Texas, you're good. California, clipped. That's what's going to happen. Which is why it's important for Pritzker, Hochul, Walz, although I believe we kind of got a lot of Democrats in there. We need all blue state Democrats. All blue state Democrat governors need to redraw the districts. And first of all, I don't want to hear about, oh, New York tried to redraw the maps a couple of years ago and that was unconstitutional. No, what happened was we tried to redraw the map and my district got a tiny slither more blue and they saw that and they were like, nah, fuck that. These maps are unconstitutional. And then they gave us a fucking Republican fucking gerrymandered map. The system is rigged. It's like the criminal justice system and black people. It's rigged. It's not here to help you. Same thing with everything going on in our government right now. It is not here to help Americans. Any Americans that have less than $1 billion and that are a crispy white pale color. It's completely and utterly disgusting how people can go about their day just living life, thinking it's okay, defending pedophilia. Enablers are just as bad as the people who they are enabling. If you know a pedophile and you're letting them be a pedophile, you're kind of just as bad because you are an accomplice to this crime. The crime rate in D.C. is the lowest it's been in decades. The only criminal knowingly hanging out in D.C. is fucking Donald Trump. And he needs to be fucking arrested immediately for treason. If the army turned around, hold on, let me back up. Burp. If the army followed their oath, if the army followed the oath they took when they decided to serve, then they would go right to the White House and they would arrest that man for treason. Treason. Enough is enough. Scrolling threads, we're talking about regular things. Now, I'm not saying the people I get political content from are posting regular things. The algorithm is pumping regular things into my timeline to make it seem like shit is regular. But that's not normal. It's not normal behavior. And even those people shouldn't be posting like it's a regular day. because it's not. When fascism comes to America, it will be draped in the cloth of the American flag. It will be draped in old glory, stars and stripes. I am fed up with this shit. Every fucking day, there's a new thing that's happening, that's illegal, that's not supposed to happen, that we're letting happen. If you're not affected by this personally, and you're sitting back thinking, okay, well, you know what? Maybe if I just lay low, this shit won't affect me. I promise you, it's going to get to you. First, they came for the immigrants. I was not an immigrant, so I said nothing. Then they came for the alleged criminals. I was not an alleged criminal, so I said nothing. Then they came for the scientists. I, not a scientist, did nothing. Then they came for me, and there was nobody left to protect me. There was nobody left to say anything. The Second Amendment people who say who say that they own guns because they fear a tyrannical government, what the fuck do you think this is? Is this not tyrannical enough for you? You need more tyrannical? This is, if you look up tyrannical government in the definition, that's what this is. And you're sitting there posting your skincare routine on TikTok. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself with all that. I got news for you. Because that's just something I can't stand. In 2016, I knew that shit was hitting the fan, and I needed to be on the right side of history. I got several topics I want to do a podcast on that people might actually watch. But this is not the time and the place. We fix our fucking government. We get that back on track. We can have some fun here. And if you go back and listen to my podcast during Joe Biden's administration, I promise you there's a lot of fun episodes in there. We had some fun because I promised we'd have fun. And I promised that if we save the country, we could have fun again. But I will ask the people in Dearborn, Michigan, did you make your point? Are you done? Do you want to stop the hotels from going up on the Gaza Strip? All right, time to get on board and vote for Democrats. Time to make some TikToks supporting Democrats. And in a trade-off, I'm voting for Mamdani, and I'm not tweeting anything, not posting anything bad about him. I keep saying tweeting. I haven't had Twitter since Musk fucking bought the thing. But nonetheless. So, you hear me? Dearborn, Michigan, and all other progressives that chose not to vote for Kamala Harris for Gaza, which, by the way, she would have been doing way better with Gaza than is happening right now. And yeah, I'm smiling because, people that didn't vote are suffering a little more than they were before. And you know what? I don't want people to suffer besides them and red hats. But here's the thing. I promise you this. I'll vote for Mamdani. I'll vote for him. Even though I'm Jewish and, a lot of his supporters want all my people dead, that's messaging that, people have confused. And I'm not going to blame Mamdani for people being stupid. You know what I'm saying? I know that he doesn't think that. So I'm going to vote for the guy. And that's my trade-off to you. I'll vote for Mamdani. I won't shit talk him on the internet. And in turn, how about the far left gets in line with stopping this fucking bullshit? Okay? Are we cool? Is that like cool? So if you take anything away from this podcast, I want you to take this. If Gavin Newsom cannot redraw those districts, democracy's done. Because he put his fucking cards on the table. He went all in. He said, I'm going to redistrict it all. I'm going to gerrymander the shit out of this fucking state. He said that. And if it doesn't go, when the Supreme Court strikes it down, because they're going to let Texas do it and they're not going to let California do it. If that happens, we just got to be prepared to come up with a plan B. Worst case scenario, there's more of us than them. It's like that 50... Actually, I'm going to Google this shit right now. You ever heard the riddle, like, not a riddle, but like, it's like a workplace icebreaker, I guess. 50 people or a gorilla, who wins? If you have to choose between the gorilla and 50 human beings. Hold on. Active duty service members is less than 1% of the United States population. So when I say there's more of us than them, there is. And worst case scenario, sorry armed forces, but we're going to be able to take you because you ain't a gorilla. All right? You're just people. And at the end of the day, if you were following the oath that you took, you'd march into the White House and you'd arrest the real fucking criminal. And you would save fucking democracy. All right? I stand with our troops that do the right thing. I don't want you, Jay's bashing the fucking troops. Jay is not bashing the troops. But if there are people right now that have the opportunity to arrest a treasonous person, somebody committing treason, that's something that's punishable by law. And you should be punished for that. So, armed service members, 1% of you is less than 1% is the United States population. So, you should really don't get froggy. You know what I mean? Not worth it for you. You get good bennies from that army fucking shit. They'll pay you to go to school. I don't mean pay for your school. I mean pay you to go to school like school was your job. It's crazy. You go for a loan for a house, they got you. No problem. Get a nice, good rate on a mortgage. So, fascism is here. And if you're not doing everything in your power to fight back against it, you're enabling it. And if you're enabling it, then you're might as well be a fascist. Okay? All right. I'm out of here. Till next time. Oh, by the way. Should be a thing right here. Anyway. That's Dyze in your house. That's my Cash App. You can hit that and you can send me $1 or $2 because I'm in need. But to be honest, I found a fucking payday loan app And I fucking got some extra money. So, like, I'm not actually doing this podcast because I'm thirsty for money. Although, you should support people doing the right thing and not people telling you how to remove. Oh, my God, this is how we're going to remove that spot on your face. You can't. I have never, and I know people are going to say, the response to this is going to be, we can tell. But I promise you, I haven't done a day of skincare in my fucking life. Stop with that shit. I'm not saying stop doing skincare. That is not a job. You can't have a TikTok where you make skincare, where you do your skincare routine, you know, and you're getting paid off that shit. Meanwhile, fascism's fucking taking over America. You have a responsibility. If you're making money off the internet, you have a responsibility to keep America in a fucking functioning democracy. Or your speech will be fucking stifled by a tyrannical government. Right, there we go. A tyrannical government. Is that in our Blues Clues thing? Where's Blue? Anyway. My alarm is set for like 5 hours from now. But again, as you know about this podcast, I have nobody to fucking talk to. So I'm here. I'm telling you guys how it is. And we need to fucking not relax. We need to react. And we need to do it now. Right fucking now. And if I remember, I'm going to put the Patreon up here. Patreon.com/Dyze in your house. You can get personalized artwork mailed to your house monthly. You get input on the podcast. You can drive the direction of this podcast. You can tell me, hey, listen, this is something you're not honing in on. You need to hone in on this. I will do that. All you have to do is become a member. Join one of the tiers. That's all you need to do. Support your friends. There are people that cook in the kitchen in lingerie. You're giving them $5. You can't give me $1. You know what I mean? You're giving money to people who you're watching watch movies. Which, by the way, I watch tons of those YouTube channels. Like people watching movies and like reacting to them first time watching, and like it's almost like you're watching a movie with somebody. And it, you know, for those of us who are depressed and lonely, it makes us not feel so lonely and depressed. That said, I'll never go to someone's Patreon and fucking pay for that. That's not helping democracy. The only thing I'll be paying for is helping to try and save what we have left of democracy. Till next time, J Porks, Dyze in your house. Hit the Cash App or unfriend me. It's bullcrap. Support people doing the right thing. I'm not as pretty as everybody else sharing their information on the internet. You know what I'm saying? I don't have as good editing as everyone else on the internet posting information about shit like this. But you know what? I'm in that fucking room with them. I'm on that side. I'm on the right side of history. Support your friends. Support people doing the right thing. Be safe out there. If you're in DC, I'm sorry. You know, hit me up. Let me know what's going on, I guess. And just be on alert. And also, Donald Trump's a pedophile that was and probably still is regularly inside 13-year-old girls. And actually, you know, there's no proof saying that he wasn't inside his daughter when his daughter was 13 years old. There's no proof saying that that's not true. So we might as well believe it. Because, you know, the only thing this guy isn't is tough. Everything else he is. Pedophile, criminal, fraudster, liar, cheater, asshole, small dick. He's all that shit. But the only thing he's not is tough. So he probably fucked his daughter. Along with a litany of other 13-year-old women women. They're not women, they're young girls. They're kids. And he was fucking kids. And that's why the military is roaming the streets in D.C. right now. I'm done bothering you. Sorry. Late.